Hey, folks, welcome to Friday's market wrap-up from a beautiful, I'm kidding, Pittsburgh. Coming in from Pittsburgh, it is freezing, it is snowing up here for the long weekend with my boy Jack for a hockey tournament. So, now I remember that you visit snow, you live in South Florida. Or actually don't. Stay where you are. South Florida's awful. Man, just sitting here watching Tesla implode. This was part of my last year get out of series. I said, get out of Tesla. I think it's bankrupt. The dude's burning through cash like a drunken sailor. And I'm speaking from experience. And here we are down about 9-10% as they cut their workforce by 7%. We nailed that one, man. We were right. And hopefully you bought some disaster puts on Tesla, like I said about a year ago. Brazil's Bolsonaro makes a stumbling start as president. The other day, he said he was going to, hey, I'm going to raise taxes, and then his chief of staff a couple hours later said, nope, he's wrong. The former Army captain said, hey, I'm open to putting a U.S. base in our country, and then his military leaders quickly squashed it. So right now, folks, people, the media's jumping all over this dude. Sound familiar? Same thing they did to Donald Trump. Every little misstep, everything is parsed and dissected and ripped apart. So the media are having a field day with this guy. But I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. At least the Bovespa, the Brazilian Stock Exchange, and the EWZ are having a blast here and heading higher. I mean, this thing hasn't even taken a break. So remember, we got back into EWZ. We've been in and out of EWZ for, 7, 8 years. The World Cup, the Olympics, got out of it around the remember, I was a part of or not a part of it. I knew about this scandal when who was it? The Batista brothers. Remember I traveled around the U.S., Canada, Great Britain, speaking for JBS, the Brazilian food company, was the second largest food company in the world, and knew Wesley and his father and his brother very, very well, the Batistas, and there's their scandal right there, the JBS scandal that rocked Brazil. Was very good friends with those guys. But we got back into EWZ right around here, right around the runoff election. So take a look at the EWZ since I said to get back into it during the 36%, man. 36% return on the EWZ as the S&P 500 has been all over the place. So, ignore these headlines and focus on the underlying. So I would still get in EWZ. I think it's a great 2-year trade. So I'll show you how you can jump on board Top Gun Options at the end of the video here for a 7-day test flight. New U.S. Intel study. China already leads the world in key weapons technology. You're damn right they do. They've stolen all of it from us. This is what I'm going to get into why the market's going up and rumors of a trade deal and at least a short-term something and all sorts of stuff, guys. This is it's going to be a Neville Chamberlain moment, whether it's President Trump or Steve Mnuchin, as they kind of wave this paper saying China has promised not to steal any more of our intellectual property. First of all, they've probably stolen all of it already. But does anybody believe that? Do you actually believe that China is going to agree not to keep stealing our technology? Come on, man, pull this leg and it plays Jingle Bells. So, I'm reminding you that all of this trade war stuff it's a smokescreen, man. They care about strategic dominance. They care about taking Taiwan back. They care about owning the Paracel, the Spratly Islands to feed their people and just to, feed their strategic ambitions. But let's get to the headlines. U.S. debates lifting China tariffs to hasten trade deal and calm markets. New tactic under discussion would be aimed at giving Beijing incentives for making long-term concessions. So apparently Donald Trump don't like this. Donald Trump don't like getting investigated. Donald Trump smacking down Nancy yesterday if she smacked him down the other day. Donald Trump didn't like this. Doesn't like down markets. This smacks a little bit of desperation, folks, to be honest with you. As I've told you over and over again, China can outlast a trade war. Come on, Wiz, they're getting bloodier, and they don't care about their people, man. They lock Muslims up into internment camps. The last time their people tried to have a little bit of an uprising, anybody remember Tiananmen Square? So give me a break, folks. They're getting bloodied, Wiz, and it's about their economy, and they don't care. What are they going to do? Pick up the phone and call and complain? It's ridiculous that it makes zero sense. But people saying their economy is getting bloodied are correct. Even China's reporting really bad numbers, and as I've often said, when China reports really bad numbers, you can be sure they're actually worse than they're reporting, especially about their debt. Chinese property developers implode as market freaks out over $55 billion debt cliff that's approaching. And the PBOC and the central bank, or the People's Bank of China, getting involved in capitalism again. So we've seen this before, folks. And I'm in a bearish FXI trade, not looking so hot right now, but look at every time I've been in an FXI trade that ain't looking so hot short term. Right? Every time the PBOC has gotten involved to try and save capitalism, they've done the exact opposite. They've panicked markets, folks. That ain't a good looking trend with the FXI. So short term, obviously we're seeing a nice pop, a little bit of short squeeze as well, obviously, right? So a lot of people like me short the FXI, and then here comes the Chinese government to try and save their form of capitalism. That is not good. That a couple shots of 1942 might feel good initially. It's going to suck in the morning. So I fully expect the FXI to come in. I'd put on another bear call spread and sell into this pop. I mean, the highest we've been lately is up here around this 42.5, and again, that was a short squeeze right there that ended violently. I would be looking to get very bearish on FXI right here. The current bear call spread is a hold. So stocks are at session highs after report says China may offer a way to eliminate the U.S. trade imbalance. Got it, trade imbalance. That doesn't clear up a lot of issues. So let me get this straight. Last week, or what was it, 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, when the deputy trade reps were meeting, they didn't even leave issuing a joint statement, right? Robert Lighthouser, what's his name? Lighthouser. Our one of our China hawks and heavies said, he told Senator Grassley the other day, I've seen zero. They're not moving at all. So you're telling me out of the blue you're going to see something like this? Come on, guys, let's use our brain. So I get it. We've gone through the 50-day moving average with some airspeed. A lot of folks were short at the 50-day And look at this. Isn't this weird talking about the 50-day moving average being down here? In the old days, the blue was up here, 50-day. That was the two. Now we're down here inverted. So a lot of buying up, algos kick in. When you hit a moving average like this with airspeed, it's going to trigger a buy signal. So there's your buy signals. Look at every time we've popped through a moving average before. So when the market isn't doing what you think it should be doing, you're wrong, not the market, right? And guess what I do? I sit on my hands. I'm having a blast right now watching my Jan 20s, Jan 21s all green and doing great and going through the roof, which is awesome. Obviously, my hedges are red, but that's why they're in your portfolio. The only thing that should be red on your screen today are your hedges, and if you're short an FXI trade like me, everything else should be looking at. I haven't looked at CME today. CME Group. Nice, going right. We have an iron condor, a couple trades on CME going right through down the fairway. Loving what's going on with CME Group. But I got to be honest with you, folks. The bank earnings weren't that good, right? Morgan Stanley reported the other day or yesterday, right, when I was flying up here to Pittsburgh. Not good out of Morgan Stanley, man. And the other bank earnings were only good because of what? Higher interest rates and lower effective tax rates. You're going to be bullish on the banks. I thought the Fed wasn't going to be raising interest rates anytime soon. As a matter of fact, a lot of idiots out there calling for them to cut rates next year. And they couldn't trade their way out of a paper bag. Their fixed income, currency, and commodity divisions could not trade their way out of a bag. So I got to be honest with you, earnings haven't been that good. How about Netflix, folks? And Netflix doesn't make a dime for shareholders. Do you understand that? And they're raising prices. So I got to be honest with you, man. Netflix rallies back from overnight slide as Wall Street analysts defend stock after mixed earnings. Right now, this article's old, obviously, because Netflix is down right now about 3%. So this is not good. And obviously, analysts defend stock because they're long the stock. I don't know, man. Just a lot of... got one eye raised on this rally. Markets usually, and again, I have to remind myself, we're not in usual markets. Markets usually don't do this, this type of rally. A lot of people I talked to, I got off the phone this morning, good buddy in Chicago, again, reminding me that this is kind of a mom and pop FOMO rally, fear of missing out. This still, institutions are not, obviously people are dipping their toe in the water, but I'm not seeing massive buying out of financial institutions, period. Okay, so until that time, I'm gonna hang out, enjoy my Jan 20s and 21s that are recovering nicely and looking good. But I'm gonna sit on my hands with kind of my front month trades. Gonna hang on to that FXI trade. I might put on a repair one today. Maybe I'll send out an urgent alert in between hockey games up here. Thinking about it. CME Group is looking good. Where's CME Group? Yep, CME Group. Like I said, going down the fairway up $2. But we still haven't seen retailers. We still haven't seen, and I'm getting hammered in a Facebook trade as well. And remember, folks, you know what? At this point, I'm probably going to get out of my Facebook shorts. This is just. Let's take a look. Everybody, remember this earnings? Has anybody seen Mark Zuckerberg or Sheryl Sandberg in? I can't remember last time we saw these folks. So remember, man, when your commit criteria change in any trade, it's time to get out. I think it's time to start getting out of some Facebook. I thought they were going to channel going into earnings and put some bear call spreads on right here at the 50-day moving average, the middle of the Keltner channel, and this thing just has kept going higher. Because, the previous, it couldn't even get up to the middle of the Keltner channel or the 50-day moving average. Right around here, it was resistance. So I placed a bear call spread right there, going right through it. So not a good trade by me out of Facebook. How about CSX? This is one of our winners. The other day I said get long. It was earnings day. Was it Tuesday? I said get long. We did a synthetic stock position on CSX, and check out CSX since we put on synthetic stock 2 days ago, up 7%. We're up 3% today. So hopefully folks in my live trade briefing services took a look at that CSX trade, got into it. We didn't put any short calls on. So CSX is kind of hopefully making up for my losing trades in Facebook here. But this is a yes. This thing is going to get on its horse and keep on galloping. So like CSX, where it is right there. And we should be good to go. Like I said, EWZ, all our Jan 20s and 21s are looking phenomenal, obviously, right now as this market rallies here. But be very, very careful, man. Remember, markets go down a hell of a lot faster than they go up. So be cautious. I switched from bearish to market neutral. I'm going to stay market neutral, and I'm not going to be cautiously bullish until we hold for at least I'd say 3 to 5 trading days above the 50-day moving average. We stay above here for 3 to 5 days, and I'm going to shift my flag to cautiously bullish. I'm not going to be bullish. I'm going to be cautiously bullish because we really didn't have, this is a V recovery. Markets usually don't do these violent V recoveries. But again, I got to remind myself, we're not in a usual market. We're not with a usual president. We're not with a usual Congress. We still have a government shutdown going on. Let me close with that. Imagine if the media had as much sympathy for small business owners as it does for federal employees. Freaking wah. Most people in the private sector, especially as a small business owner, right? I don't know how many times when I was starting Top Gun Options, I lived on credit cards or I didn't take a paycheck to pay my employee. I mean, wah. These people have jobs for life, and they miss a paycheck, and the media are going absolutely crazy. Welcome to the private sector, government employees. Maybe you'll have a little bit of compassion for those of us in the private sector who might show up to work one day and it's closed, or might show up to work one day and you're laid off or furloughed permanently. You guys know you have a job for life. It's almost physically impossible to fire a government employee. Look at Trump. They had to pass a law so they could fire people in the VA. People who were responsible for the deaths of veterans in Arizona lied. They lied on their forms and all sorts of stuff to make everything's going great down here. The 22 vets kill themselves a day. I wonder why. So forgive me for not crying. I know it sucks, but welcome to the party, pal. I'm not going to cry a river for federal employees who are going to obviously be back to work and get back pay. And I guarantee you, people in Congress vote to give them interest or not. I love this headline because I've about had it with the media fawning over these 800,000 federal employees who missed a paycheck. Freaking wah. Go out into the private sector and try and work for a living and see how much you like it. Those who can't teach, right, and those who can't work in the government, yeah, and I'll leave it at that, especially after my experience or current experience, ongoing experience with the Veterans Administration. All right, guys, I got to run. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and I'll be back on Tuesday. Remember, Monday, the market is closed. So God bless, and I'll talk to you guys then.